Welcome to the Today Show Toronto. I'm your host, Jay Stoyan. I'm stepping in for our regular host for a special presentation. Before we get started, I do want to congratulate all the participants and the winners in the Ontario election. Wonderful day, Monday, busy. So I want to congrats all the winners. And thank you for supporting the Disability Channel. Every party, all four parties support our platform. So I really want to thank you. We're down here, downtown Toronto in our head office. Witchwood Barnes Artscape at Bloor and Crispy. Come on down and say hi sometime. We have a very special show today because on the show today, we have the host of the Bilal Vakani Hour, Canada Talks SiriusXM 167 show. Bilal's going to be on. He's going to tell us all about the updates going on with SiriusXM. I know they have some really exciting updates to share, so stay tuned. You're going to be in for a whirlwind of the show. You're watching our flagship show here in Toronto, the Today Show. I'm Jay Stoyan. We'll be right back. Welcome back to today's show. On the show today, we have the host of the Bilal Vakani Hour on Canada Talks SiriusXM 167. Bilal, thanks for being on the show today.
Thanks, Jay. And look at the production on your show. I self-produce. And honestly, Jay, I have like tags. It's just like, oh, well, we'll be right back. You're listening to the Bilal Vakani Hour. At the end of the show, please follow me on Twitter at BilalV87. And there's like, a little bed front and back. But you've got graphics, you've got sound effects, you've got a great team. You got them over your shoulder so people can see. Like, this is beautiful.
I really appreciate those words. Yeah, our team, we have a great team. They're so passionate. Again, it's all about abilities and veterans. So we like to give people opportunity. And I really have to thank SiriusXM because Bilal, you and Joe and all the hosts, Matt there, you guys have given the Disability Channel so much exposure and so much kindness. Every time I call you guys, you always open the door for us. So our community really thanks you for that.
Thank you, Jay. And I always think of it as inclusion, right? One of the things we have at SiriusXM Canada is our Diversity and Inclusion Council. And it's one of the things I was a founding member of. And, we all have these different journeys. When I was 6 years old, my parents tried to teach me Urdu as well as English, and I can't even say the language correctly at this point, so we failed miserably. But because of that, my math was so much further ahead of my English to the point where when I was 6, they put me in special ed and said, look, we got to help you out. And it wasn't until I was in grade 5 that I had caught up and I could start getting A's in English. And I'm sitting here talking to you, Jay, as a person with the SiriusXM show. And, 6-year-old Bilal, English was his biggest problem. That was the biggest obstacle he had to overcome. And, I know one of your shows is Halton Today, and I grew up in Oakville. And look, Halton is the most wealthy provincial riding in Ontario, so we did well. But I don't know if that's still the case. We might have lost that to Milton or something. But nevertheless, I was so lucky to have that support. And also I'm diverse. I'm Muslim. I'm Indian. I'm half Pakistani. I really want to be, when I was a boy, there was nobody like me doing what I did. There just wasn't. There wasn't a brown Muslim guy I could point to and be like, oh, there's a Muslim guy. I might be able to do this. And even, Jay, to this day, I'll sit down to dinner sometimes and I'll have somebody who's just, for lack of a better term, brown, come to me and say, how did you even decide to do this? Because it's not something our people do. And those are discussions I'm having like months ago, Jay, not years ago, months ago.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that. Like, I really like that, Bilal, because we come from very different cultures. I'm Macedonian, Eastern Orthodox, even though I was born in Toronto, I was born in Scarborough. I love just sort of, being introduced to different people, different cultures, different ways of life, and in melting together. And, you help me, I help you, you open my eyes, I open your eyes. It's organic. It's just great. So let's move ahead now. Let's talk about the exciting platform called SiriusXM. So tell us what's going on, whatever you can share. Don't give away the horse, but.
Look, you're lucky, Jay, because we had a big announcement a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. We launched Mixtape North, which is the first hip-hop channel at SiriusXM Canada. And I was actually one of the guys who helped sort of bring in that playlist. We had a consultant who created it. and it was hundreds and hundreds of songs, and it was a crunch to get all that stuff in. So that's a huge deal because we talk about inclusion, and up until recently, if you loved hip hop music, at least Canadian hip hop music, you didn't have a lot of choices for it. So we're bringing that to the listeners. I was telling you before, it's funny. I'm on channel 167. Channel 168 is our Indigenous channel, and over the last few years, we've rebranded that. We've started playing hockey games in Cree, so a different language, different broadcast team. We've done for the Indigenous Day, we did a live broadcast, which I actually operated with our friends at APTN. We brought that in, and that's a channel where you can tune in 24/7 and
Hmm.
hear Indigenous programming or music. And again, just to give people a lot like what you do, to give people that platform. And once you do it, whether it's hip hop, whether it's Indigenous issues, it's not hard, because we have these great cultures with music, with talk programming, great histories. Like, I think we're still very early in that process, right? Like, I can't tell you we have a South Asian channel or a Muslim channel or anything like that, but we're getting better at that. And even what I'm seeing, in terms of the Canada Talk side, is a lot of the things that I might do as a diverse person. Even, you mentioned some of our, like, just for lack of a better term, white hosts. They'll also do those kind of interviews, those kind of specials, and talk about Indigenous issues, talk about non-white issues. And I think we're getting better as a company, and it's sort of this ongoing process of trying to evolve and grow and to better represent Canada, which is always changing and becoming more and more diverse. And it's the old thing, Jay, of there used to be minorities, but we're becoming a country of a majority of minorities, and it's just all these different groups coming together. So it's always growing and evolving.
Well, I find that like SiriusXM is such a big monster, and it's still relatively new to a lot of people because we grew up on local radio stations. I won't mention any stations, but we grew up, and then all of a sudden you get introduced to SiriusXM, and people are going, well, like, what is SiriusXM? It's like, wow, they have no commercials. It's a
Yeah.
subscription. They got all these high-end celebrities and personalities, and it's completely different from local radio. Like it's
Yeah.
night and day. So tell us a little bit. Tell us like an elevator pitch that you guys sort of share with radio listeners in order to bring them over. What would you say, Bilal?
That's a great question, Jay. So one thing is with the satellite technology, we have the ability to reach the entire country, right? You mentioned local radio, and I came from TSN 1050 to mention a local affiliate. And if you want to hear the Raptors or the Leafs, you need your 1050, you need your Fan 590 if you're in Toronto. But if you want to hear a different hockey game, then we're your home. We have all the sports. And you mentioned the great celebrities. And look, this week I got to talk to an NFL player, Eric Wood, who, suffered a spinal cord injury and made the transition from, Pro Bowl Buffalo Bill to Buffalo Bills radio broadcaster. And the access of people we get because of that brand, because of that national reach, it's unbelievable. Like, I could sit here and drop names from Roland S. Martin to Melanie C of the Spice Girls. The list just goes on and on and on. And the reality is, because we have that national reach, and look, every time somebody buys a car, with maybe one exception, you are going to get SiriusXM for free. So everybody is familiar with this product in North America, and the brand recognition means that a lot of big celebrities are available to us to talk to, but to also have very earnest, direct conversations. And in a lot of cases, I mentioned Melanie C. I've interviewed her multiple times because whenever she has a project, she, gives us a day of her time at SiriusXM and just talks to everybody, because I would imagine Mel is probably a subscriber, or at least hears it enough that she recognizes it as a platform. So yeah, we're very, very, very lucky, Jay, that we and the service is getting cheaper and cheaper, it seems. We're able to offer you know a crazy amount of content. Like, you can buy SiriusXM just for Howard Stern, and then maybe once a week you catch up on my show, you listen to see who my top guest is, and whether you stick around or not, look, that's okay. You could buy us for Howard. You could buy us for ESPN. You could buy us for CNN. You name it. There's just so much in that umbrella of
Well,
content.
Is Howard still considered the top dog on your station?
Ooh, well, I'm gonna say network because
Okay.
he'd be the top dog on
Yeah,
all our
yeah,
channels.
yeah.
And no disrespect to Mad Dog Rusev because I know he's celebrating a big milestone as well. But I still think Howard is the king for us, just because a he probably makes the most money, and b that recognition, right? But we're trying to attract those big names, and I mentioned Mad Dog Rusev is a big one.
He's out in New
And
York,
we're
right?
I believe he's in New York,
I
and
think
there's a
he's Mad Dog.
guy. Yeah, and there's a guy who started on local radio, got so big that Sirius said, "Hey, we're going to give you a channel." There's an amazing 30 for 30 on him that I can't recommend enough to people. Which is, and I'm biased as a radio guy, but it's just fascinating to see that journey.
Is he the same guy that got in trouble with the betting?
Ooh, I am not sure, and if he is, there's some articles I need to read after this. So, Jay, do not quote me on that. I'm not sure, but maybe.
Yeah, it's public, so I think it's him, but I know I'm not
Mhm.
accusing anybody. I think it's him because I did
Yeah,
see
it's
the
out there.
30, I did see the 30-30, and I think, and I know he's super popular, and I
Mhm.
recognize his tagline and out in New York. But yeah, no, this is really good. What we want to do, let's take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk some developments, new developments. How's that? So stay tuned. You're watching the Today Show Toronto. We have on host Bilal Vakani Hour. Check him out, channel 167, Canada Talk, SiriusXM. We'll be right back.
All about inclusion and really giving everyone a fair say.
Welcome to the Today Show. This is our flagship show. I am Unstoppable Tracy.
I am Zach Damon.
It is a pleasure to be here. I am excited. What is up?
We have a great show today.
Jay Stoyan here for the Disability Channel, the world's only inclusive channel for and by persons with disabilities.
Get ready to be inspired, everyone.
We have people watching from all over the world, but also all over Ontario.
We also take a concerted attention in the veterans community.
In moments of stress and trauma, we can get a hold of ourselves.
To help make a difference for people with disabilities, to show people how to love themselves or their disability.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys having me, giving this platform for myself and other people with disabilities.
Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this episode of the Disability Channel of Detroit. Please tune in next time.
Welcome back to the show. We're very excited. We're just learning all the ins and outs of SiriusXM channel 167 with host Bilal Vakani, the hour. Great show. It's on all the time. We love appearing on there, Bilal. So what I want to talk about, let's talk a little bit updates, what's going on. Tell me what's going on with the studio, and then we'll sort of interact together.
Oh, great point, Jay. So we have a brand new office. People will know if you know, you know. We used to be here in Liberty Village, which was a great location for 15 years. We have a brand new floor. I won't say which floor yet because we're still working out the visitor policy a little bit. At the Globe and Mail Center, and we have the ability now to refurnish our live studios. I mentioned Canada Talks, NHL Network Radio, which is the official channel of the NHL, Channel 91. Those are our two predominant live studios, but we have a new performance space where bands can come in and play, which was something we had to do offsite in the past. And to have that in-house opens up a bunch of opportunities. There's a podcast studio. There's a couple hybrid studios that are sort of designed for more direct recording, sort of like what we're doing right now, Jay, one-on-ones. And it's basically there to allow us to, not just create technically more sound programming, but just create more programming at a faster rate. And it's an I don't know how much people are going to care about my adjustable desk and my dual monitors, but it's really nice. And if anybody is in the market for building a home studio. I'll tell you right now, you get 2 monitors, you get like a USB-C connector with 2 HDMIs, and your productivity goes through the roof because you have 3 extended screens where you're just working at 2 things at a time. So it's and I should say we also get free soda all the time, which is great as well. So very exciting. We're still in the process of finishing the secondary non-live studios, but when we do, you guys are going to be seeing photos and video content. Probably some of the biggest names in North America coming in and out of that studio, and hopefully it's going to become a hub, like when you would see people at the TSN 1050 studios or any of our other great competitors. So very, very exciting, Jay, for that to be right around the corner.
Well, thank you for sharing that update. That's very exciting, and thank you for sharing that little bit of inside baseball regarding production. I'm sure our viewers will love that little tidbit. Yeah, and actually, I want to thank you for inviting me down to the studio a couple of weeks ago. We're going to be doing some great things. I just want to make an announcement. I know I have before, but the Disability Channel will be joining Channel 167 with Bilal Vakani Hour as a correspondent. So I really want to thank Bilal for this opportunity. I want to thank Joe because, if we can spread the word, it's all about showcasing our employment programs and opportunities for persons with disabilities and now veterans. We're really taking a leap with veterans in Canada, across Ontario, every province. We want to thank the ministers. We want to thank the federal provincial government for believing in us and for showing kindness to what we do. And we're also down in the U.S., so we want to a big shout out to our veteran supporters, the Veteran Ranch, our veteran show in the USA. You can subscribe. So I want to thank, we're going to be coming down there, I think in the next couple of weeks with Bilal. We're going to be doing some great things with legions, with the veterans, persons with disabilities, television, production. So, Bilal, I really want to thank you for coming on the air today and showing your kindness and giving us this opportunity. We love SiriusXM. I have it in all my cars, obviously. I love it. And if you want to bring them back onto the screen, and I want to thank you. And I'm going to take a quick break. And before I let you go, Bilal, do you want to say any words before I let you go?
Look, please follow me on Twitter at BilalV87. I always try to work that in somewhere. It never works, but you should always try, Jay. But I will say, what you do with the Disability Channel, it is so important because it doesn't matter if you're SiriusXM or if you're any other broadcaster. We all could be doing more to represent this country better. And look, one of the things about the new office is it's entirely accessible, right? The old office was an older building. It had some stairs, and it was an issue and it was only 3 stairs, and it was something we were looking at addressing prior to the move. But the fact that, going forward, you can get in there, and there's not, and look, everybody hates stairs. There's no stairs. I think that's really important. And, I'm always going to be there for you, Jay, and anyone on your team to amplify the messages you have, because I think we all want, we may disagree about how to do it, but I think everybody wants a more inclusive Canada. It'll mean different things to different people. But I'm a really firm believer in, somebody once gave me the opportunity that I'm giving you to be my correspondent and to tell me a bit about the things, you're into, you're covering, you're connected with. And that was really a big stepping stone for me going to have my own show. And the fact that now I can sit in this position, and granted, you know how broadcasting is. It's like going from here to here. And if anyone's listening and not seeing this, I described a very small jump. I might have overemphasized it with my hands, but it means a lot to me, Jay, to say, you know what, you always have a home on the Bilal Vakani Hour to tell me, even if it's just, hey, what's up? I got to tell you about this before you go. Bam. I'm very grateful for that. And it's great to have you as a friend and a colleague as well. And I think, it's a beautiful industry, and I think we should have fun and build friendships, and just really enjoy what we do, because if you and I enjoy, Jay, hopefully the people watching or listening can enjoy it as well.
That's right. It's all about providing opportunities to our community and being productive, having fun. And we're going to see you next week. I'm going to come down in November. It's going to be a big month for SiriusXM and the Disability Channel. So I really want to thank Bilal. Again, check out his show, the Bilal Vakani Hour on Canada Talk, SiriusXM channel 167. Right?
You got
there
it.
You go. That's great. So we're going to take a quick break, and I'm going to come back and wrap the show with some more updates. Again, I want to thank SiriusXM, all our viewers. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with the Today Show.
Hi there, Wendell Clark. You're watching the Disability Channel, showcasing their abilities. All the best.
Welcome back to the show. What a show it was. Wow, I really want to thank Bilal Vakani. The guy's just an amazing guy. Just an amazing guy with really giving us opportunities and kindness. So before I let you go, I do want to thank everybody for tuning in today. We have some big updates coming up. Again, we're going to be appearing on SiriusXM. You can also catch us on Bell, channel 168. Kojiko, your TV. We're right in your community. We're going to be having fundraisers for the veterans. Lots of things going on. Check us out, www.thedisabilitychannel.ca. We have original content produced every day by persons with disabilities and veterans, showcasing abilities in media and our employment programs opportunities. So again, you're watching the Today Show. We got some big updates, including some new shows. Actually, we just debuted our digital art show. We have our Zen show. We have a wonderful show out in New Jersey called The Disability Den, hosted by Jessica Frew. Check it out. Lots of shows, lots of opportunities, lots of friendship and kindness. Again, I'm Jay Stoyan. You're watching the Today Show. We'll see you next time.